So Tayshaun tweeted that he's good.
I mean, he practiced. I mean, and he looked pretty good out there. But he's still. It's going to go right through shoot around. He's got to make sure tomorrow that he's, like even how he feels an hour from now has to be like he felt right before practice. And but he has gone through the entire protocol, and so he's completed all the steps. And so now we just got to make sure that he's fine through the next 24 hours.
Was today his first day back full go at practice?
No, he has been limited, so he's kind of, it's been a gradual progression, but today was his first day of just like full contact and no limitations.
So you're letting guys shoot again?
Yeah, I mean, that was just a gimmick, that was something that, I just thought at the time needed to happen, but yeah, I mean, we're just kind of business as usual. I mean, I thought that there was a fairly good edge to how we practiced, especially as it went on.
Is a Wednesday, Saturday preparation any different from the Thursday, Saturday preparation?
No, I mean, not really. I'm not for the first game. We just, it's a shorter prep. We've been on more of a Thursday game, so it'll be a little different that way. We just got one less day to get ready, but having the extra day in between is helpful, though. Just knowing that you have an extra day to prepare for your next game.
Mentally, with the team kind of knowing that this stretch may determine whether or not you make the tournament. Mentally, how do you think you and the team are right now?
Well, we have to rely on all our tough games that we played, what we put ourselves through in a non-conference, how we pushed ourselves, and all the big time games we've been in. Every one of them is like that now. We just got to have a single elimination mentality to every game, like it's our last game, and that's how we got to approach it. And 5 of the last 7 are on the road, so we got to be together and tough. We got to play great basketball to win on the road.
Are you expecting Tayshaun to play in Colorado?
Based on how he looked today and what he did, I certainly think he looked like he would. But it's again, it depends on how he feels later today and tomorrow after shooting around and things like that.
If he does come back, how will that help the team or hurt the team in terms of the flow?
Well, I mean, he plays hard. He goes after the ball. He's a rebounder. He's got good size. He's made a lot of good defensive plays for us in some key games, and then he's a real threat to shoot. I mean, he's got a great shot when he's locked in, and he's very capable.
After the Washington game, you talked about Romelo's activity and how much that kind of changes what you do. Has his activity, I mean, did you feel like at the Washington State game it wasn't at the level it needed to be? Or in general, just how has that been?
Yeah, I mean, I just thought that his second efforts, his the offensive rebound tip that he had in the first half and then to start the second half were indicators of, hey, it just doesn't have to be throw me the ball in the post. I'm going to figure out a way of manufacturing a basket. The way he ran the floor, like he outran, their bigs, and so he's got to play that way. And we met earlier this week and talked about, just bringing that same level of motor and just relentlessness the way he played against Washington.
Were there any?
Oh yeah, we talked about how good he was in that game. As good as much as people talked about Lou and the all-around game he had, and Rob had a very good game. Remy, big shots, big plays, and Z, of course, but in the high post. But Romelo's his defense, his energy, that post move he made in the second half when he got his hands ready on a dart pass from Remy and wheeled to his right hand and scored. So like a lot of big momentum plays he made in that game.
Were there any other big picture things that you took away from rewatching the game?
Again, just we moved the ball so well on offense. We obviously want to cut back on some of those turnovers. That was a negative, but we moved the ball so well that the quality of the shots were so good that's why you shoot 62%. And then we played with a level of desperation that you have to play with, but you can't just do that because coach is mad that we didn't play well 2 days earlier, or you're mad at yourself that you didn't play well. It's you have to find a way to have the mindset and the chip on your shoulder to want to play that way all the time.
You said that 5 of the last 7 games on the road. For a lot of coaches in the past say road games are sometimes easier because you keep attention little bit better. Do you find that to be true as well?
I mean, it has its pluses, you know, just because of that reason. But you're working against a lot of adversity with crowds and you know, not being in the familiar surroundings, you know, and stuff. So it's not easy to win. It's easier to win at home, or it should be. But yeah. I mean, you could certainly the group is together more, and you know, there's more time to prepare.
You can bend numbers any way you want them to go, but your record when Melo's in double figures is pretty good. Is that just a coincidence, or just how valuable is it to get him going, get him touches, and how does that benefit the offense?
Yeah, I mean, it gives us another guy like around the basket that can make things happen, because you know, we could drive it and get there with Lou and Remy, of course, and then we got, you know, guys in the perimeter that could hit shots, and then Zylan just does everything. He just does a little bit of everything. So to get a guy inside that you can throw it inside to, that you know, can catch and finish, that goes after the ball in the offensive glass when he's doing all those things, and we're definitely a better team.
After the Washington game, you kind of made amends with the crowd after a low turnout against Washington State and having a much better turnout against Washington. What does that bring you and your team, a great crowd? What does it bring you?
I mean, they were juiced to play. I mean, it's just you feel the energy, the electricity, and it's just different. You know, and again, we shouldn't need that per se, because we beat Mississippi State on a neutral court with no crowd, and you know, we were fine in that game. You know, we were very motivated. So, you know, we have to do better at being able to overcome that. So that's not an excuse. It just means, though, that you know, when you get your people in the building and they're fired up, and then the guys get that emotion, it does help in terms of just elevating their level of play.
You guys good?